5 years ago, if I told you to buy a Chinese car, you'd probably laugh. Honestly, if someone told me the same thing, I'd also laugh. But Chinese vehicles are taking over the car industry, especially the luxury sector, by force. It's so crazy that in the first half of 2025, Mercedes-Benz's net profit dropped by nearly 56% year-on-year. Audi fell 37.5%, and BMW managed a drop of 29%. Meanwhile, Chinese brands accounted for over 80% of new energy passenger vehicles priced above $43,000 in China. Even more insane is the fact that these cars are packed with next-gen features that make even Rolls-Royce look like a regular sedan. Here are 8 Chinese sedans that are ending the luxury car industry as we know it. 8. Zeekr 007. Zeekr is the premium EV sub-brand of Geely, the Chinese conglomerate that also owns Volvo, Polestar, and Lotus, so when they build something and call it a luxury sedan, they are not bluffing. The 007 is Zeekr's fast, elegant, 4-door answer to the Porsche Taycan and Audi e-tron GT, except it undercuts them both by somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000. Built on an 800-volt electrical architecture developed in partnership with NVIDIA, the Zeekr 007 accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.84 seconds in its performance configuration. The large battery pack option stretches range to around 800 kilometers on a single charge. The exterior follows a fastback profile with clean, European-influenced lines, and the interior leans heavily on minimalist Scandinavian design, fitting given that Geely essentially learned interior philosophy from Volvo. The most insane part, it costs $26,000. Geely did not build a budget brand with Zeekr. They built a brand capable of embarrassing cars that cost 5 times as much. 7. BYD Han L EV. BYD is the largest electric vehicle company on Earth, and the Han L is what happens when that company decides to go after luxury without apology. Launched in April 2025 as the new crown jewel of BYD's Dynasty series, the Han L EV pairs genuinely premium execution with a price point that makes the competition look ridiculous. The Han L sits on BYD's revolutionary Super E platform, one of the most advanced EV architectures on the market, and its flagship powertrain delivers over 1,000 horsepower with megawatt-level fast charging capability. That means charging at a rate that can add hundreds of kilometers of range in the time it takes to grab a coffee. The design is long, low, and deliberately striking. More in the language of a Porsche Panamera than the sensible shoes aesthetic Chinese sedans once carried. The interior blends soft materials, large displays, and a level of fit and finish that would embarrass rivals costing twice the price. Globally, BYD's overall sedan sales grew 78% in 2024. The Han L's arrival only accelerates that trajectory, all thanks to its $28,700 price tag. It's easy to see why European brands can't compete with Chinese luxury. 6. Xpeng P7. The Xpeng P7 is the sedan for someone who wants a car that feels genuinely from the future, not in a gimmicky way, but in a way where the software is seamlessly integrated, the driving intelligence feels real, and the whole experience is quietly brilliant. The P7 rides on a standard 800-volt architecture, delivers dual-motor performance with over 400 horsepower in its top configuration, and carries a range well above 700 kilometers. Xpeng's XNGP driver assist system, widely regarded as one of the best on the market, enables full city and highway navigation with no HD maps required. The interior is clean and minimalist, with premium materials and a panoramic glass roof that makes the cabin feel like it extends infinitely upward. With the NVIDIA-powered computing backbone running the whole show, the Xpeng P7 proves that a $30,000 Chinese sedan can feel more like the future than a $100,000 European rival. 5. NIO T7. The ET7 is one of the most technologically advanced luxury sedans available at any price. Running on NIO's NT 2.0 platform, the ET7 packs a dual-motor all-wheel drive system producing 644 horsepower, accelerates to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds, and offers an optional 150 kilowatt-hour battery with a claimed range pushing beyond 1,000 kilometers, the kind of number that makes even European luxury purists quietly search for for the specs. The cabin is a polished executive environment built around a 12.8-inch AMOLED curved display, a digital instrument cluster, and NIO's Dolby Atmos-compatible 23-speaker audio system. Air suspension comes standard. The ADAS system, backed by 4 LiDAR units, 11 cameras, and one of the fastest automotive chips NIO had deployed at launch, handles highway and urban navigation with a level of competence that puts systems from BMW and Audi to shame. For a car that costs $48,000, the ET7 has no right to be this capable, but it is. 4. Hongqi H9. Hongqi, which translates to red flag, is arguably the most storied automotive nameplate in China. It has been the official state car for Chinese leaders since the 1950s, which gives it a prestige that no marketing budget can manufacture. The H9 takes that heritage and drapes it over a car that competes directly with the Mercedes S-Class, and it does so at roughly a third of the price. The H9 comes with a 3.0-liter V6 turbocharged engine producing 283 horsepower paired with an air suspension setup that absorbs road imperfections with the quiet authority of a limousine. The interior features handcrafted detailing throughout, massage function rear seats, a champagne refrigerator, advanced noise cancellation that turns the cabin into a near-silent sanctuary, and an iconic signature grille that borrows just enough visual DNA from Rolls-Royce to make the comparison stick. It starts at $50,000 for the regular version and tops out at $75,000 in fully loaded configuration, which means you can buy one H9 for the down payment on a base S-Class. 3. Xiaomi SU7 Ultra. Xiaomi makes phones, TVs, and blenders. Xiaomi also, apparently, makes the fastest mass-produced four-door car that has ever turned a lap at the Nürburgring. In April 2025, a production-spec SU7 Ultra recorded a lap time of 7 minutes and 4.957 seconds around the Nordschleife, beating the Rimac Nevera and the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT. In Shanghai, it broke the circuit's all-time production car record with a 2 minutes 9.944 seconds. The powertrain is a triple motor setup combining two Hyper-Engine V8S at the rear and a V6S at the front for a combined output of 1,548 horsepower and 1,770 Newton-meters of torque. Top speed is 217 miles per hour. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes 1.98 seconds without the 1-foot rollout trick other manufacturers use to inflate their figures. A 93.7 kilowatt-hour KATL Keelan 2.0 battery gives it 630 kilometers of range and charges from 10% to 80% in just 11 minutes. It also comes with 3 LiDARs, 12 cameras, and 5 millimeter wave radars for its autonomous driving system, because apparently building the fastest four-door car in the world was not enough of a challenge. At $73,000, it costs less than a base Porsche Taycan while producing over 3 times the horsepower. The automotive world did not see Xiaomi coming. That was their first mistake. 2. Huawei Maestro Ace 800. When Huawei, a company best known for smartphones and telecom infrastructure, decided to build a car, the automotive world laughed. Then, the Maestro S800 arrived. Nobody is laughing anymore. Born from a partnership between Huawei and JOC Group, the S800 is a full-size, ultra-luxury sedan that stretches 215.7 inches long, slightly longer than a Mercedes Maybach, with a 132.7-inch wheelbase built for people who treat the back seat like a private cabin on a transatlantic flight. It has automatic power doors that swing open up to 77 degrees and intelligently avoid obstacles. The dashboard is a 3-screen floating cockpit with a 15.6-inch center display, a 16-inch front passenger monitor, 43 speakers hitting 2,920 watts of peak audio power, and a starry ceiling lined with 1,296 LEDs arranged in a constellation pattern, because why not? Under the hood, or in this case, inside 2 electric motors, the standard BEV version puts out 523 horsepower, covers up to 702 kilometers on a single charge, and charges from 10% to 80% in about 11 minutes. The range-extended tri-motor variant pushes 852 horsepower and has a combined range stretching over 1,300 kilometers. For context, the Mercedes Maybach S-Class starts at $204,000. The S800 starts price at $98,600 and outsold the Panamera and the BMW 7 Series combined in November 2025. Its 10,000th unit was handed directly to martial arts legend Jet Li. China has decided its luxury car belongs to a Chinese brand, and the world is starting to take note. 1. NIO ET9. NIO did not build a car for the mass market with the ET9. They built something closer to a declaration. This is the brand's flagship, and it arrives with specs that sound like science fiction. The ET9 is a full-size luxury liftback sedan sitting on a 128-inch wheelbase, longer than most European rivals. It runs on NIO's proprietary 900 volts electrical architecture with peak charging power of 600 kilowatts, meaning 5 minutes of charging adds 255 kilometers of range. It also supports NIO's legendary battery swap system, allowing a full battery exchange in under 3 minutes at any of their stations, a feature that makes range anxiety completely obsolete. The suspension system is a world first, a fully hydraulic active suspension developed with US company Clear Motion, capable of responding to road inputs within 1 millisecond. NIO famously demonstrated this by driving over speed bumps with a tower of champagne glasses on the hood. Not a single glass fell. Powering the ET9 are dual motors producing 697 combined horsepower, with the rear unit alone generating 456 horsepower. It sprints from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 4.1 seconds. The self-driving system runs on NIO's own 5-nanometer Shenji chip paired with 31 sensors, including side-facing LiDAR on both front fenders. The interior is a 4-seat executive layout with a massage-equipped cabin, a smart fridge, a 35-speaker audio system with 720-degree immersion, and a first-class style folding center table. It's also the world's first production vehicle with steer-by-wire technology and rear-wheel steering up to 8.3 degrees, and it turns in a tighter radius than most sedans half its size. The 999 first edition units sold out in under 12 hours. More impressive is the fact that it costs $111,000. BMW and Audi, take a good look.